Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.25. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is helping us to understand yet another particular vibhuti, which might seem quite fantastical, but indicates that the knowledge of far away, distant and subtle objects is also gained by a particular sadhak who focuses upon them. So let's try to understand how this is possible, what the sutra is talking about, and how we can start understanding it a little bit better. So the sutra itself goes, Pravritya lokanya sat sukshma vyahavita viprakrishta jnanam. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. We've just basically pronounced it and tried to have the words pronounced more than the chanting tonality. But now let's take a good look at each of the words, what they stand for, and how we can understand them a little bit better. So the first word over here is Pravritya Loka, which is referring to two compound words. Pravritti, which refers to a higher sensual faculty or an ability which is super sensual, so even beyond the normal capacity of the senses. And then comes aloka, which is an illumination or a light. So this is the first word, pravritya loka. Then coming to the second word, we have nyasa. Now this particular word is referring to something that is directed towards or placed upon. And then the next word over here is sukshma. So sukshma refers to something that is really fine or subtle or very minute. And the next word is vyavahita. Now this particular word is referring to something that is hidden or unmanifest. We can't see it very clearly. It may not even be within our vicinity. And then the last word, or the second last word, is viprakrishta, which refers to something that is really far away, so not in the immediate locality. And the final word over here is jnana or gyan, which means knowledge. So now let's try to understand the basic meaning of the sutra and then dive even deeper to understand what it's saying. So let's take a moment now to understand what exactly this sutra is telling us. It's saying that if we practice sanyam or dharana, dhyan and samadhi on our senses, any of the senses that we have chosen, we can actually use that to gain certain knowledge about objects or subjects that are subtle, far away and completely unmanifest or distant. So this is a very important vibhuti that develops by doing sanyam or understanding the supersensual qualities of any or all of our senses. So now that we know this, let's dive deeper into the sutra and start understanding how this can be made possible. Alright, so far we've understood that doing sanyam on the senses and really trying to, exemplify their existing faculties can help us to understand things that we didn't even imagine were possible. And when I first read the sutra, for me, what really stuck out was this is so similar to the way like Zoom or our video calls or YouTube works today. Of course, all of us use YouTube and, we frequently post videos on it. But I don't think we're as aware of the technology that drives it, that makes the same video available across the globe. Because we may not all be techies, we may not all understand how the software works, how all of this is made possible, but we're very conversant with it, where it's like normal, for us to have videos across the internet reaching millions of people. This is normal to us. So we never question it. We never go deep to understand how is all of this being made possible and what is the exact science behind the technology that very few of us know who are interested in that domain. So similar to that, in this particular sutra, Muni Patanjali is helping us to understand that there is a technique or a technology through which we can concentrate on the senses, their supersensual qualities or abilities, and through that we can actually take steps towards understanding or perceiving objects which may not be anywhere around us. And so it's almost like, using your brain or your self as a transmitter and receiving information from places and kind of decoding that and working with that. But it's also very difficult to kind of make your body that kind of a transmitter, or make your chitta that kind of a receiving faculty which can obtain such information. So that itself is a technique which Sanyam accomplishes, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi, and only adept yogis who are very conversant, familiar with the technique of Sanyam can now apply it to very subtle objects which naturally may not have been accessible to the ordinary sense perception. But through the extrapolation of this Sanyam on those senses, even the impossible becomes possible, and the senses start to go beyond their capacity, able to do things that we could not even have imagined. So I think that's pretty incredible, and it goes to show that just senses are really just faculties, and just the way we upskill in our yogasana practice, we can also upskill in the usage and utilization of the senses. We all know, and we've been told according to neuroscience, that humans don't even use the full capacity of the brain potential. So one can only imagine that if we were to do so, if we were to really activate the fullest capacity of the brain, the mind and the senses, there's no saying what is actually possible, because we just don't know. In modern times, we haven't delved into that realm yet, but through these sutras, we get an insight into what may have been possible in those times and what kind of a technology the people were very conversant with. I think Sanyam was probably something that a lot of yoga sadhaks practiced, and it must have felt and seemed very normal to them or those group of people. Just the way video calls and YouTube and all of these things like Instagram are so normal to us, we don't even question it. So I think it's just a matter of difference of time, difference of technology, difference of understanding, and we live today in a world that is much more modern and scientific and less intuitive and less concerned with the intuitive abilities. So it's just, the fact of our times. But it's really interesting to study these sutras and to get an insight on how they work, what are some of the potentialities that these vibhutis are able to produce. And it's really, really interesting to study them in this way. So I hope that you too found this sutra interesting and useful. If you did, please don't forget to leave your thoughts, opinions and comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also do subscribe to our channel because we release new videos every single week. And finally, also do share this video with your friends and family, especially those that may be studying the Yoga Sutras or yoga philosophy and who could benefit from these videos. We now look forward to seeing you in the next video or in our next class or workshop, the links for which are in the description, and we cannot wait to see you very soon. So until then, take care, keep practicing, and we're going to see you in the next one. Namaste.